Absolutely right. But
This is
we
called a pregame, folks. So y'all get there. I know y'all already tailgated, so now you're about to get ready for the real action.
he said get it tailgated. That's my guy, Rick. Rick.
Us on Facebook.
I liked it on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter. Insights.
Yeah.
2 eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. Let's go.
Man, the one thing I know I couldn't bother that tagline because that tagline belongs to you.
All right, y'all. It's just something about that that says it's showtime, baby. It's showtime. What's happening, Coach? How you feel today?
Man, I feel great every day. You know how I do.
That's
You know,
right. That's right. That's
I
right.
occupy on people telling you that you can't be successful. Man, I went to sunrise service this Sunday.
Mm.
The missus told me I was gonna do sunrise, and before we could do it good, our pastor, who's been on the show a few times, and we were talking about doing some things for the kids and violence in the schools, Pastor Anton Elwood. One of the things he said, y'all coming to church today. I said sunrise at 6 o'clock. That means you had to get up 4:30, 5 o'clock. Y'all need not to be tripping. Because a whole lot of y'all done seen the sun come up before.
Oh, snap now.
Y'all were
Shake it,
just
shake
getting
it.
home. So don't act like you can't get up now and come on the church. Some of y'all was just coming home that time. I said, Pastor, I said, my boy, he be on it here.
Hey, no lies detected.
Do you go to church sometimes sometimes you think somebody told the pastor you were coming because he sends a message that sounds like it's specifically to you?
Yes. 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 Indeed. Indeed.
That's what I thought Sunday. And when they talked about Resurrection Sunday and the boulder over the front of the church and everything, and one of the things that they talked about was, I've heard it a million times, but ask me why it resonated with me differently when the angels came down and asked him, said, why are you looking for the living among the dead?
They're dead. Yes.
For some reason, that just took on a whole different meaning to me Sunday.
Talk to me, Coach. Talk to me.
It What he obviously, I'm a little slow, was referring to the dead being the people that were walking around on the earth.
Mm.
And that he was living because he had passed on and went on somewhere else.
Mm.
So why are you looking for the living among the dead? Was just took a whole different meaning to me in terms of understanding a concept, which I could be understanding it wrong, just like in school when they tell you, and you in journalism, that a lot of times you write things and different people interpret it different ways and write the same thing and come up with 12 different interpretations.
Indeed.
But talking about that fact, and God gave his only begotten son, and he sent him down here with, I assume, is the dead. And because of him, his life ever lasting. It just, all of that just kind of started messing with my head. Then they talked about, how they moved the rock, and how many of y'all have had people come looking for you because they thought you were dead, but you still alive.
Hmm.
You still going about your business.
Mm.
And they looking around the cave trying to see if you alive or dead. Man, that thing had me kind of twisted in there.
Mm.
Can't do sunrise service too much because it make you wake up a whole lot of different things. I'm like,
It
we
awoke
always
something in
say,
you, Coach.
straight no chaser. Man, that's what we do.
They all the time.
All the time. You better tell somebody. I mean, that thing had me mixed up there, man.
I
Why
love
are
it.
you looking for the living among the dead?
Mm, 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 mm.
And how many times have you heard that? But that time, it just sounded a little bit different. Now, we did get some comments from our last show. I don't know what we did different, but we had somebody said, man, that the pictures were clear and recognizable. Said we need to work on the call-in part. Somebody said, yes, we know that.
You're absolutely correct. Thank you
Everything
very
you got
much.
it right now. Oh. And somebody else told me, say, you need to make sure you have Rick. He need to ask a couple questions so that he look better prepared. I said, y'all need to stop now. I said, don't take a shot at my boy. There you go. Oh, there you go. Yep, Sports Diva. Back on it.
Hey, Sports Diva, how you doing? To the comment, thank you very much. I will be better prepared. Thank you. I'll ask a question. No, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we appreciate the special shout out, the question, and Mark King at Hotmail. We appreciate you. Shouting out and asking questions, and you and Sports Diva got your own conversation going. No surprise there. No surprise there.
Dr. Mark King, thank you. Hope you join us tonight, Dr. King. Hope you do.
We appreciate that. And I thought the question that was asked about from all of the coaches, please let us know in terms of, would you be willing to take the consolation prize as the runner-up and go to the White House? And almost to a man or woman,
they
said no, they wouldn't do it.
They said no.
And unequivocally no.
And Coach, being the non-coach here, I was like, heck yeah, I would go. It's the White House. It's history. I was born and raised in D.C. and has never been to the White House.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, well, let me take that back. It all depends on who's in the office. The White House.
Right.
because the last president, I wouldn't have gone.
Right.
But the previous ones, the 44 previous ones before that one, I would have gone. Definitely, because I'd never been. And I still want to go. I still want to go.
I got you. I got you. But you got to know one thing. The last president wouldn't have asked you anyway.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
The last person would not have asked you anyway. So you wouldn't have had that to worry about.
Amen to that.
Yeah. That would not have been an issue to be concerned with, because they wouldn't have been able to do it. So
fake news.
That in
fake
itself,
news. I'm not inviting you. Fake news.
That's fake news. But I have to admit that I like the people being able to call in and ask questions, and those who send us text messages. And our shows have been so full, we haven't even been able to show the type of videos and things that we have going on. But we do have a special guest, and once we get, I need you to stay with us, guests, because we got some commentary about the WNBA and the draft and the NBA playoffs. We got some of that this on there to be to be able to find out what's going on, what your thoughts are, because I'm all things Cleveland, and I don't really think we're gonna beat New York, because I just think Thibodeau is a defensive master, and I don't think Cleveland just has an idea of what it takes to win at that level. I just really don't think so.
Wow.
But that's just my thought. And you had to think that the Lakers were lucky, because they didn't play with much effort last night, to me, till the game was almost over. So we will have to that's going to be something that we have a discussion about. But one of the things, go ahead, Rick. I don't want to cut you off there.
No. You're right, and we'll discuss the Lakers later. But they just seem so for 3.5 quarters. They seem so disinterested.
Yeah, they
Just
did.
like we're just out here, even if we lose, we'll play again on Friday. Man, y'all some dummies.
Right.
Ugh.
Right. Right. But one of the things, we keep talking about, with all the things that we do, and we talk about the athletes, and we keep stressing the significance of academics. And we keep saying that we had Women's History Month last month, and we had some outstanding women that were representative. And one of the things that we tried to do was to let people see these young ladies who were athletes all the way through college, most of them, and pursued advanced degrees in something other than their sport. They were able to do some things and accomplish a lot, and they were very, very successful being able to do it. And we appreciate the guests that we're having come on, because Corie Scott is quite a legend, but we're getting a good following here. And one of the things that we keep trying to stress is that, you can go pro in something other than sports.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the things that we keep trying to allow people to see, is that ability to come in like that, that you can do things that have nothing to do with sports and still be a pro and make a pretty good living. You can't, you put all those eggs in that basket. Okay, I understand that in terms of sacrifices you make. But once you wake up from that dream, you better be prepared to do something else.
Yeah.
And the gentleman that I have here coming on today, Corie Scott, I want to show you something. I want to share something with everybody that the commissioner actually did. He had a really good activity that I thought was outstanding, and I want to show
Congratulations
some of that
to
too.
this year's essay contest winners at New Journey Youth Center. On behalf of the National Engineering League, I'm Commissioner Scott. And on behalf of the advisory board of the National Engineering League, we want to just congratulate you for your efforts and for winning some money. It's great that you guys took a proactive look into your future and started to take a look at, what do you want to do, how you're going to get there, and what hard work is necessary for you to get there. Special thanks to President Corie Murray of the Orlando Orbit, and also to Miss Danielle Hunter Yarbrough. And it's that time that we've all been waiting for. The winners, please. Congratulations to Trinity Cash, a winner of the Career Essay Contest. Congratulations to Declan Athearn, who is also a winner of the essay contest. Congratulations to Hunter Yarbrough, also a winner of the essay contest. Congratulations to Tyriana Moss, who is the next winner of the essay contest. And congratulations to Joby Boston, who is the last winner of the essay contest. Congratulations to everyone. If you did not win this time, please try another time. Figure out what you need to do to get your writing a little better. All right. Get some tips from Mr. Murray or Ms. Hunter Yarbrough. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Overall, I'm excited, kids, about you taking the time to participate in the essay contest. It's important for you to take a proactive look into your futures and to find out what's necessary to get there. It's also important to take a look outside of your communities and your present environment to see what else is out there, see where you might want to go when you get older. Great job to everyone for participating, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. For Commissioner Scott and the National Engineering League, I'm signing out. You guys have a great day.
Now, how is that right there?
Mm.
See, I could actually show his video and not have him come on because it's hard for him to beat what he just did on his video.
Yeah.
But I want Commissioner Scott, who I've become real good friends with, and we've done some things together here. Congratulations.
Congratulations on the Commissioner Scott. Good job.
That was excellent, wasn't it? He did a.
I appreciate it.
Give us a little background with what we just saw. Tell us a little bit about what you did there, and what the significance of it was. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Well, to me, okay. Well, I'm gonna just keep it real. I grew up in downtown Newport News, Virginia, right? In my neighborhood, there was Mike Vick, Allen Iverson, Aaron Brooks. So you got 2 #1 overall draft picks in the NBA and in the NFL, and then you got Aaron Brooks, who backed up Brett Favre and did his thing and made millions of dollars, right? And that's what everyone kind of wants to do, Coach Mick and Rick. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because if you have God-given talent, you definitely need to take advantage of that. Off the record, I had a 4.22 40-yard dash. I had one problem. Well, it wasn't a problem, but I had a very protective mother that wouldn't let me get into certain things, and she wouldn't let me play football. She said straight up, that's not going to happen, right? So I had to go to my books, right? That was it. I was like, well, how am I going to make it out the hood? Not going to be able to be an athlete because my mom's kind of paranoid. Maybe I can just focus on math and science and everything in my educational realm to get out of there, because I was pretty good in math, pretty good at science, right? So that's kind of what I did, right? As I got older, I got a full academic scholarship through Fort Valley State. It was the CDEP program, Cooperative Developmental Energy Program, and it's still around today. They're actually giving out full academic scholarships right now, Coach Mick. They still got 20 left. So if anyone has a 3.5 GPA, they want to study and major in a STEM field, contact myself or Mackenzie Tarver at Fort Valley State. I can pass Coach Mick her information. They're trying to get these scholarships to deserving students, right? We'll get back on track. I end up getting
No. I want you to hold on. Go back and repeat that again. Those are scholarship opportunities that I want you to speak on
let's
again.
repeat this loud and clear, Coach Mick. Full academic scholarships paying up to master's degree. You'll get your bachelor's degree from Fort Valley State, majoring in computer science, mathematics, or I think chemistry is the other one, right? From there, you will go to a partner school that Fort Valley State has. These partner schools include Georgia Tech, the University of Alabama, the University of Texas in Austin, UNLV, Penn State, and Grand Valley, right? Everything is paid for, Coach Mick. Room and board, tuition, bachelor's and master's degrees, and they have opportunities with their companies that are partners in the program, energy companies. Shell is just one of them. Definitely go and check out the webpage, Fort Valley. If you go to the Fort Valley State school webpage and just look up CDEP, that's CDEP, go there, and these scholarships are a way to save money for parents, a way to keep kids out of debt, and a way to expose these students to stuff they might not be able to see. It's really a unique opportunity because the kids get to go to HBCU and the PWI. I mean, that's how the real world is, right? It's a mixture of, those type of cultures. So it's an excellent opportunity. Mackenzie Tarver is the recruiter. Big shouts to Dr. Isaac Crumbly, who started the program up close to 40 years ago, Coach Mick, and it's still going, right?
Wow.
I actually got the scholarship in 1998. And again, my loving mother, I love her with all my heart. She passed last January, rest her soul.
Right.
And but everything I do now, I try to represent her in the best way I can, because growing up in those projects and being able to do some of the stuff that I'm doing now, Coach Mick and Rick,
it took a hell of a woman in parenting to do that. Right now, I'm a propulsion engineer for the FAA, right? A lot of people don't even know what propulsion is, right? But I was able to still see through that. I went to get my degree in mechanical engineering. I graduated in 2004. I'm gonna show it to y'all right quick. My wife wrote it down here. There it is, man. Let me
Okay.
move that mic out the way so y'all get it. Y'all can see it real good, man.
Congratulations there.
Okay, that might not be a big deal to some people, but to me, it made the deal. It was a game changer for me because it wasn't easy to get that accomplishment. But it changed the game for me from a lifestyle perspective because sure, I want to be a football player. I probably would have been decent. I don't know if I would have went to the pros, right? I don't know if I like running that much because man, my left lung always seemed like it was burning through my stomach when I was out there unfit, out of shape, right? But my engineering degree, you know, it made the world of a difference for me because I was a professional. I could always go somewhere and get a high salary. It allowed me to be creative, innovative, and I like to solve problems, right? So let's get back to my mom, Miss Goldie Mae Rumble. When I was a little boy, she always had me trying to fix things around the house, solving problems early. And I always wonder, like, why does she always get me to do this stuff? Like, why can't she do it herself? She was training me the whole time on how to solve problems, how to think outside the box to fix things, right? So that's leading me up to what I'm doing right now. I started to see that in our communities, man, we need some type of different type of hope and encouragement and other opportunities for students to know that they can get into career-wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to be a rapper. Cool. Maybe a model. That's cool too. They want to be a producer. They want to be an athlete. There's nothing wrong with any of that, but explore all of your options. And I want to make sure the kids know that being an engineer is an option as well. And so I'm here to talk about it a little bit today to show what it takes to be an engineer, a professional engineer society that's solving problems, that's creating new products, new services, and solving the world's problems. And just to talk about, you know, my story of how I got here. And if it gets tough, it's okay. It's just shaping you and molding you for the future and your career. So that clip that Coach Mick that you showed, that was recently about 2 weeks ago down in Apopka, Florida. One of my counterparts, Corie Murray from Black Men Sunday. He also works for the news channel, CBS News affiliate down there. But he was like, hey, man, you know, why don't the National Engineering League and the Orlando Orbit, which is one of the 32 franchises of the National Engineering League, why don't we get together and, you know, provide some hope for these students at the community center? So that's what we did. We took money out of our own pocket, put it together, and we created an essay contest for students to think about what they wanted to where they wanted to travel to when they got older. So right now we're taking the kids' minds and getting it off the block, so to speak, out of the city, the state, and having them think about where they want to travel to. Some of the students want to go to, you know, they wanted to go to Australia, they wanted to go and visit Africa. Cool. We wanted to develop that mindset. And how are you going to get there? So, what type of profession were you going to have that will be able to give you the affordability to travel to these places? So, we got some really good essay participants. We announced 5 winners, and it got them excited, and just really got them thinking about what are they going to do next? How are you planning for your next move? So that's what that contest was about, Coach Mick. We're taking it around the country, actually. We're going to have one at IC Norcom in Portsmouth. Big shout outs to Dr. Hayes out at IC Norcom doing this thing with the Saturday Academy. You know, just trying to spark the interest of engineering and careers outside of your present environment and whatever you may be going through. So,
Wow, that is outstanding. The things that you're doing. Tell us a little bit about how you went about the essays that you and Corie put together, and you know the type of response that you've gotten from that.
yeah, we got tremendous response. The directors down there at you know, at the community center were just saying, "Hey, man, we wanted to see different images of some of our people and talk about the different professions that they're actually doing." Right? Engineering. A lot of people still don't really know what engineering is, Coach Mick. Right? So part of my little crusader, what I try to do is just taking the mystery out of what an engineer is. It's a problem solver. I'm gonna repeat again, Coach Mick. An engineer is a problem solver. They apply tools, problem-solving tools, to fix things, to design new, innovative ways to do things. Right. So, like one thing my mom had me doing when I was a little kid, she probably should have been a welding engineer / accountant. Right. Things would break around the house, plastic things, and she'd have a hot knife and just, welding things together. I was like, that she's doing covalent bonding as I got older, right? She's really out of the box thinking, and she used the resources that we had around the house and always came up with a solution. So she was always had a solution driven mindset, right? But back at the community center, kids were asking Mr. Murray, what's an engineer? We heard you were part of the National Engineering League. How can we be a part of it? So we pretty much partnered with that community center, just like we have with the Michelle Obama STEM Academy in Hampton, Georgia. Big shouts to the principal over there, and also Nanika Taylor, fourth grade teacher out there, and anyone in the community that's really concerned about the students' futures and exploring their options and putting the professionals in front of their face so the kid can ask the professional directly, what do you do? How'd you get there? What does it take for me to get there? Will I like doing this? And how much money you make in a year? Because they want to know that as well,
They always want to know about how much money you make, don't they?
Yes, sir. And
But
I try to
didn't
keep
hear
it real.
you, Rick, did you hear him when he said he ran a 4.240?
You can ask Coach Juan Taylor back. He used to be the Warwick High School coach back in the day. Now, look, I'm about 6'1". I'm about 255 right now, so I can't do that. My little cousin, I raced him the other day. He reminded me that I was 43, and because you eating well, right? But I used to be a little slim thing back in the day, Coach, man.
Didn't we all? Didn't we all? Seems like you have a lot of people supporting the program and the engineering. You've also been able to do some things that you help in terms of finding employment for a lot of these graduates in the engineering program. Tell us a little bit about that too.
Yes, I think one of the cornerstones of I think being a good person, humanitarian, and a businessman is developing good relationships with people, because you never know when you're going to need that relationship. That's why it's important for young people. If you get into a situation that's seemingly negative, how you respond to that situation is going to make a difference. You never want to burn relationships. You never want to burn bridges. And if you look at some of the people on my advisory board, Coach Mick, on the NEL page, those are relationships I built from high school, from my physics teacher, Mr. Davidson, from Mr. Brasker Williams Jr. at NC State with the MSCN program, all the way down to, my last supervisor that I had, right? I used my supervisors to mentor me, Mr. Richard Bolden. Big shouts to him, a lot of my colleagues and mentors are people that I look up to and I learn something from them, right? A lot of them are engineers. They're in the STEM field, right? Not all of them, but a lot of them are. And I always grabbed a little bit from each one of them to go into my decision-making process, right? I got a core set of skills that I have, but my common sense and stuff I learned in school. But I might know
common sense he learned in school. Okay.
common sense from my mom, and getting butt whippings when I was coming up, because she didn't play, right? She always told me, she said, Corie, there's a difference between book sense and common sense and street smarts. She said, now you're a pretty smart kid. You're getting all A's and B's. But I'm gonna make sure you got some common sense out here too. And she provided that with me. And it's funny, Coach Mick, when I go to solve any type of complex engineering problem, whether it's in the automotive industry where I used to work at, whether it's in the aerospace industry, when I was a trainer working with the Dallas Cowboys when I was out in Texas, I always apply my mom's common sense approach to fixing problems. And it's worked. I got education and went to Old Dominion University. Big shouts to ODU. Let me give them their props while I'm up here, right? Big shouts to Dr. Bawab, Dr. Keith Williamson, and the crew. But like my mom's common sense approach to things has always worked for me, right? And I use that as a foundation. I built upon it. And I feel like I can go anywhere and solve any complex problems with a common sense approach, with the skill sets that I learn, and with the relationships that I have built, because you can utilize people to help you solve problems as well, right? If you're a coach, you know how it is on the team, right? You got an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, everyone has their part, right? And you want to get the best person at that particular position to make sure that you can get the problem solved, right? So, but back to your question about having relationships, how am I utilizing these relationships and everything we're doing to bless these students, right, and creating job opportunities. Okay, I worked with say I worked with Jill 10 years ago, right? I always let my work performance and my work ethic set the stage for me being able to go back into Jill 10 or 15 years later, right? Because guess what? Now I have an internship program where I'm developing students that want to be engineers, and they're going to need places to go after I'm finished developing them. The program's finished developing them. The village is finished developing them, and they're finished with their formal education. They need to go somewhere to apply that and make some money, right? So if I maintain my relationship with Jill that has company X, guess what? It's nothing but a phone call, Hey Jill, I got Alexis Leos. He's coming out of North Carolina A&T with an engineering degree, and I've been working with him for like the last 5 years. He's ready. Not only the stuff he learned in school he can apply, he's got soft skills, people skills, how to communicate, etc., etc. He's a proactive problem solver. You should give him a shot. I'll send you his resume. You can make it happen and take it from there, right? So it's all about the relationships. We got to stop looking at the world just for our own gains and what we want to do for ourselves. But we got to start looking at the world as how we can help other people, other individuals for once we're gone. We're not going to be here always, coach, right? I'm 43. So God doubles my current age. I'll be 86. Okay. Hopefully I've been done what I need to do. Time to go to the next dimension, right? But we got to start asking ourselves, why are we even here in the first place, right? Why do I have a problem-solving mindset? Why did my mom prepare me to solve problems? Why was I able to go to college and get an engineering degree or fulfill my purpose of what I think I'm doing? It's a purpose. It's a reason why I'm here. I think we all have to fix something on earth. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It depends on the individual and who they are, right? And their set of circumstances and their gifts and the problems they go through and how they're molded in life, right? But we got to fix something and make it better while we're here. That's what I believe. In a sense, coach, you're an engineer. Mr. Rick, you're an engineer. Everyone's an engineer. Everyone's a problem. It may not be, you on the space shuttle trying to control the temperature of the space shuttle or the International Space Station, which we do have someone in the National Engineering League that does that, coach, by the way, right? These are some of the people that we're putting these students around so they can get practical experience, practical mentorship, and we can take the mystery out of engineering.
If you have a question you want to ask the commissioner, you can call in 850-999-2870. That's 850-999-2870. Rick, anything you'd like to ask the commissioner? Rick. Can't hear you, Rick.
Rick's thinking of the hard question, coach. He wants that hard question,
man. We have trouble with that microphone with Rick there. We can't hear him. But Commissioner, we appreciate you being with us and taking the time to come on, talk to us, give us some really relevant information, be able to pass on some information about scholarship opportunities at your alma mater at Fort Valley State. We keep
that's not my alma mater, Coach. That's not my alma mater. That's where I was gonna go, right?
Oh,
but my mom wouldn't let me go. Right, my alma mater is ODU Monarchs, right, back in Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
I'm currently on the Old Dominion University's Mechanical and Aerospace Advisory Board, right? Okay. So I want to tell this quick story, Coach. Getting my engineering degree was challenging. It was difficult, right? I was used to getting, mostly A's and some B's, right? But when I got into the real world and I had to go and, without formal instruction, where it was left to me to make a difference in what I was going to do for myself. And I had to manage my time and manage my money and get my goal accomplished, it
Mhm.
turned me from a boy to a man getting out of Old Dominion University, right? I call it the blue collar engineering program because they provide a lot of practical experience through the internship program for students to really get their hands on and learn what it takes to be a professional in the engineering environment, right? But
Right.
yeah, that was my alma mater, man. I got through there, even though it was a struggle. Now I'm on the advisory board for the same program, right? So just
Okay.
a testament for if you stick to your goals and your plans, no matter how difficult they seem like they may be, right? If you feel like God put that vision in your in the front of you to make it happen, you can do it if you want to. The only person to beat you is yourself, you know.
Amen.
Well, Rick
Hey,
But
did get his
coach, I am. Go
he
ahead.
did send me his question. He said, "What is the
Okay.
National Engineering League?"
That is a good question, right? Some people get it confused with the National Football League. They don't see that little cross mark on that E, right? So it's not the NFL. Yeah, it's the shield, right? The National Engineering League is the league of premier engineering consultants, problem solvers, educators, and students that are going to be solving the world's problems, right? It's going to consist of 32 engineering consulting companies, right? Companies will start to come to these young great minds to get their problems solved, right? Currently, we go to Deloitte, Accenture's companies of the such. But what we want to do is create a league of problem solvers and innovators and make it fun as well. So students and kids and some athletes can say, hey, I didn't make it to the NFL or the NBA, but guess what? I'm gonna still have some fun, right? I'm gonna create a new product. I'm gonna create a better way of doing something. I'm gonna create a more least expensive way of doing something that's more cost effective, right? I might create something that's gonna save humanity or make the world a healthier place, right? All because of what's coming out of these premier engineering consultants that are making up the National Engineering League. So I don't want to give it all away, but there probably be between 10 to 12 professionals on each team. And we're going to be focusing each team on a primary product or service in our industry that we live in our world that we live in. Uh, each team will focus on a specific product and dominate a specific industry. One thing that people need to understand out here is that we take a lot of things for granted, right? Flying in an airplane. Coach Mick, you've been working hard, man. You going to the Bahamas or you might go to Paris, you and your wife and your kids, y'all jump on the plane and bam, you land, right? There's a lot of brain power and thought that went into that, right? Working behind the scenes in some of these industries, you're starting to understand like, wow, how did an airplane actually crash? Because there's so many smart people, so many smart products, systems, documentation, tracking devices, everything to ensure that this airplane stays aloft and gets you to your destination safely, right? But people need to understand that didn't just happen overnight. There's a lot of people that are involved with making sure that this product works precisely like it should, especially when you're 30,000 feet in the air, right? That's engineering, right? If you look at let's go to athletics, right? Look at a ball. Why is the ball bouncing the way it is, right? How much air do we got in this balls? We all remember Deflategate with Tom Brady, right? Whether you did it or not, it became that sporting event turned into a technical situation and a technical problem, right? So we had to understand what the significance of is of this air pressure in this ball and the temperatures, right? I think they were taking a little bit of air out of the ball when it was cold or something like that, and it gave them better grip, right? That's science, that's engineering, that's technology, right? Think about going into a stadium, coach. There's a lot of people in that stadium, right? It has to have HVAC. You don't want it too cold, too hot. You don't want people falling in the stands, falling, and you can't support the force that's in the stands, right? You got to have lighting. Go to a football game at night. I went to the Carolina Stadium one time when they first opened up, and there was some problems with the lights. It was dark out there. As soon as they flicked the lights back on, it looked like the sun was out there, right? All that is engineering. So I want everyone that's listening to think about all the products that they use every day, from their cell phone to this forum that we're on right now. You guys are both of you are in Florida, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm in Atlanta. All right. We're talking to each other live, real time, seeing each other, looking at body language and emotions. That's all engineering. The communications aspect of it. I want everyone that's listening to also really understand kind of what the major divisions of engineering are, right? You got mechanical engineering, which is dealing with movement and anything moving, right? Uh, Typically in the automotive industry, in the aerospace industry, you got big devices transporting people, moving people from one place to another. Your car, you got a boat, airplanes, trains, anything moving, right? Opposite of that is electrical engineering. Is dealing with how electricity flows, how much electricity you get into products, right? Making sure that people don't electrocute themselves. When you get on your treadmill, you got your athletes out there training and they get on the treadmill. What's keeping them from getting electrocuted, right? Because it takes a lot of power to power those treadmills. You got ground wires, etc. People are thinking about problems before they actually come, right? You think about civil engineering, that's dealing with structures, right? These large, massive buildings, they're pointing straight up in the sky, thousands of feet in the air. Why aren't they moving? Or are they moving a little bit with limits, right? That's stuff that we need to start thinking about instead of just looking at products and assuming that, okay, that's just how they work. Now, there's a lot of thoughts in engineering and scientific development and innovation that came from that, right? So that's what engineering is. It's problem solving, it's creating new products, new services, different ways of doing things. And I think we all are engineers in a sense. Even the people that created different ways of doing things in societies. Let's look at our civil rights leaders from the 50s and 60s, right? They saw the problems that existed in the American society and said, hey, man, we're going to do something about this. We might die trying to do this. The black people to die, the white people die. They engineered society to make it better. So me, a person like myself, could grow up in the projects on welfare and eventually be a propulsion engineer for the government, right? Because of the opportunities and the sacrifices that people engineered and made for me decades before I was even born, So I think I want everyone to have a mindset of, I'm going to be an engineer, you're going to be an engineer, right? Whether you have a degree or not, engineer something, make it better.
We
Make
we
it better.
appreciate that insight. I thought I was in introduction to engineering class there.
That'll be part 2, coach.
Said we bring him in and see if he can let you know about a major that you didn't know about in our career orientation class. So with us today, we have the NEL commissioner explaining to you the different facets of engineering and all the different things that you could do in it, opportunities, job opportunities, scholarship opportunities, classes you might want
And
to
I
get.
do want to add, Coach Mick, if I could too. So, the person I am, I always try to make opportunities for people. When I first interviewed with a company called Siemens Automotive, I was 17, right, coming out of high school, and it was a guy named Frank Zimmerman, German guy. He said, "Hey, man, tell me what your goal is." I said, "Well, Mr. Zimmerman, my immediate goal is to put myself in a position where I can get my 4-year engineering degree from accredited ABET colleges, right?" So that's one thing. Parents, if you send your kids to an engineering school, make sure it's ABET accredited, ABET. We'll talk about that later if you want to. Okay. And I said, well, my long-term goal, Mr. Zimmerman, is to be able to put myself in a position where I can benefit others, right? I was 17 years old at the time, right? So, Coach Mick, what I found is that through my journey in my professional career, that was really my niche, and I didn't know it, right? I want everyone to really think about what their niche is. Like Coach Mick, I'm sure you're multi-talented, but it was the time of your life where basketball probably was your niche because you played it well, you coached it well, and you loved it, right? So I think we all have a niche that we need to make sure that we tap into because you don't have that niche by accident. The creator that created you, he gave it to you for a reason. He gave you a vision for a reason and those necessary tools to be able to do it, right? So you got to understand exactly what that is and start searching for it. If you don't know what it is, say you're going through some things in life and you might be on the wrong track. Start to really understand what your niche is. What are you good at? What's your gift? If you follow that gift, it'll take you to places that you'll never really know that you can really get to because you're probably the best person that can do this, right? I'm a mechanical engineer, right? I could do a little aerospace stuff, Coach, a little electrical stuff, but civil engineering, I probably stay away from because I don't feel like that's really me. I don't think that's what I should be doing, right? I can apply basic problem solving concepts to help PE, a professional engineer out, or a civil engineer or architectural engineer out. I would know my role on the team, but I wouldn't be in charge of the core fundamental aspects of civil engineering. That wouldn't be me. Big shouts to Paul Brown, man. He's just doing the National Engineering League. He's a 24-year graduate from the University of Maryland. He's working in Virginia Beach for a civil and architectural firm. He just passed his FE exam, coach. So big shouts to him, because everyone just doesn't do that, right? So Paul, if you're watching, man, I'm glad you pulled it through, right? But I want everyone to kind of start to understand what their niche is, because you're going to be the best at that. If you look at somebody like a Michael Jordan or Kobe, yeah, hate to say, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, coach. As I'm getting older,
it's all right with me. That bothers Rick over there. He's about to have.
Rick, okay, sorry, Rick. Kind of grew up with the Cowboys. It's a marriage, right? I'm starting to follow players now, because I the players. Patrick Mahomes. I saw it in his father, and man, I think they're done. Right? I said, man, he got the eye of the tiger. Watch this. A couple plays later, running around, got that first down. Bam, it was in there, right? So I'm more interested in the players that got that personal dedication and that dog mentality, right? But why are certain players, and coach, I'm gonna ask you this question, even though it's your show, I'm gonna ask you this question, right? Why are certain players why are certain players more dominant than others? Why are certain players in Hall of Fames? And not talking about the present NFL Hall of Fame. No disrespect, I think it's getting a little watered down, man. It just is, right? That's my opinion. But why do certain players make it to the Hall of Fame or the best of the best, the Mount Rushmore of their particular sports industry, versus players that start, players that are all pros, players that may be second, third string, players on the practice squad? What do you think the difference is between these mindsets?
Rick?
Well, I don't know if it's mindsets. Well, that has a little thing to do with it. It could be timing. It could be situation. It could be the player.
Okay. You think some of them, they're good at certain sports, but they're probably great at something else too? Because I think sometimes we don't really know what we're great in. We can be mediocre in some things. And I think it's important for us to realize what our greatness is and kind of what we were put here to do. We're all smart people on the line. We could do a little bit of everything, right? But there's some home projects that I tell myself, I don't think I want to tell that one, especially if it's dealing with electricity. All right. But one thing I did want to say, Coach Mick, with the National Engineering League, because Rick, that was a good question. That's the National Engineering League. That's for profit. I spent years developing the infrastructure, putting the right people in place, building the right relationships, and learning what I don't know so I could be successful. So when it's the timing, we mentioned timing, when the timing is right, which is soon, it'll be a successful organization. In the meantime, what my niche was kind of like being a motivator and showing kids what they could do in the engineering world and STEM world if they wanted to, right? So that ended up turning into the National Engineering League Foundation. It's a nonprofit. It's a 501c3. The webpage is www.nel-foundation.org. I'm going to repeat that. It's www.nel-foundation.org, right? So what we do, we took all the community service efforts that we were doing in the NEL that I just like to do, right? And took it to a nonprofit foundation. If anyone wants to donate, they can donate. Shaquille O'Neal, if you're listening, man, I know you're in the Atlanta area. You're always in Walmart buying bikes, man. I'm trying to get in contact with you, man. Some things that we need to do. Like I said, I'm working with the Michelle Obama STEM Academy. We're putting a young aviators program together. We actually got the logo done up last week, so we're getting it reviewed by the principal and everything in the next couple of weeks. We also got a partnership with the Global Impact Academy, which is a high school STEM magnet school down here in Fairburn, Georgia. Big shouts to Mr. Gubani and Dr. Newbold over there for the excellent stuff they're doing. These two schools are multi-million-dollar schools they built in our communities that's designed for these students to get hands-on experience with some of the latest and greatest state-of-the-art technology, like at the Global Impact Academy. And y'all can go to my webpage, the www.natengleague.net. That's my webpage for the National Engineering League. Go and look at some of our partners on the partnership link, and you'll see some of these schools we're talking about, right? They're bringing in professionals. Like they had a shoe design competition with Nike probably about 2 months ago, right? That's something I want to do on the elementary level with the elementary kids K-5 at the Michelle Obama STEM Academy, right? It's in Hampton, Georgia, and I heard Shaq just bought Reebok. Coach, did you hear about that?
Did not.
Okay, well look, Shaq, we want to have a design competition at the Michelle Obama STEM Academy. We want to start it maybe in the fall. So if you're listening, I'll get in contact with you or your peoples, all right? Or you can get in contact with Coach Mick and Mr. Rick, so we can make this thing happen, all right? Because I want kids to really be able to tap into their creative side and see the business opportunity in it as well, right? There's a lot of money to come from a great idea. Everything came from a great idea. This show we're on, right? The shoes you're wearing, the mic you have on, Mr. Rick, everything came from a great idea that was executed, right? So I want students to really understand, and young people come over the great idea, plan, and then execute.
Well, we appreciate all the information and knowledge that you dropped on us tonight. I mean, you've
execution.
Really been able to share some things with us that we didn't know before, and we really do appreciate all of it.
Indeed.
Okay, no problem.
And we've went into it at depth and got people an opportunity to see and hear some things that they might not have seen or heard before. And we appreciate you taking that time and spending time with us to share some of your creative and innovations that you've done to help grow this.
No problem.
We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys.
We'll have to have you on again.
Yes, sir. Hey, this is just a start, man. I believe in developing and maintaining and sustaining relationships. So this is just a start, okay?
Well, the relationship between you and I started before this, so we've already kicked some things into gear and gotten us involved with some students and trying to talk to them about some things, and that's part of what our mission is.
Yes, sir. And I do want to publicly thank you too, Coach Mick, because sometimes we get students that they think they want to be engineers, but they might not want to do engineering, right? And some of them are athletes. So I would like to thank Coach Mick for taking the time to mentor some of our potential athletes and letting them know what they need to do, or if they're doing a great job, or what they could do to develop themselves to be better and get ready for the next level. So thank you for spending time with our NEL students. I appreciate you.
Well, that's okay. That's part of our mission, and that's part of my mission, to be able to help those students and provide them some sound advice and to talk to their parents, be able to help them. And that's what we're
Right.
in it for. So I appreciate it, and I'm a believer in what you're doing. That's why I had to get you on and perhaps let you get in front of an audience you don't typically get in front of, but that's what you have to do sometimes. So that's what we do with athletics. We try to use it as a vehicle to provide opportunities for students, and especially when we get them in college. There's opportunities, career opportunities, job, occupational choices that they can make that they were not even aware of when they came to school. So
yes,
it's really consistent with that.
And if I could say one more thing before I leave, Coach Mick, sometimes I talk too light. Any athletes that are listening, that are regular listeners to this show, if you observe a problem that you see in your environment, either the equipment, some of the students I work with are athletes, they notice that shoes, there could be some better developed shoes, equipment, get in contact with Coach Mick and Mr. Rick, and they'll get in contact with me. And maybe we can come up with a better way to do it, because we have some of the greatest minds from K through 12, Coach. I don't think I talked about it. It's a career exploration program. We created a pipeline starting in kindergarten through 12th grade. And if you go to the webpage, you'll see the students that we have in there, right? Because I challenge the community leaders, the teachers, and the principals to start grabbing those students, right? They could be going down the wrong path, but they're right up here, right? Let's grab them early. We don't need to start developing engineers when they're in the 12th grade trying to go to college. It starts early. So that's kind of what we're doing, man. Just getting them young. But if you got a problem, talk to Coach Mick and Rick. Get it back to me. We're going to use these great minds, these young minds, to come up with some solutions, right? Everyone's talking about Instagram and Facebook. That's cool. Let's start owning some of this stuff All right.
Mm.
Let's own a Facebook and Instagram and some of this other technology out here. That's what the challenge is right now. Anyone listening, any young mind, no matter what your situation is, you can be the owner of this and you can change the game. And that's what the NEL is here to help you do. With our sponsors and our resources and our partnerships like Coach Mick and Rick and Insight Sports. So thanks again for this opportunity to talk.
And you're more than welcome. And one of the things that we keep trying to share is the fact that we have a really loyal following with our Insights YouTube, but even now on our Insights Roku network channel that is around the world now. So those of you who listen to it, no matter where you are, this is an opportunity for you. If you've seen this on your television or Insights Roku and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes God sends his best messages to you when you think you're asleep, but it's
Amen.
always
That
on
is
time.
true.
Amen.
So we appreciate you, and we will
Thank
have
you.
you back. And we appreciate you there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
And
very
Coach,
much. Yes,
Coach
sir.
Mick, before I go, my Instagram is at @commissioner_Scott. So you can reach me there as well. And if you got any questions about anything, it can be anything. Problems, any type of complex or simple problems, feel free to hit me up. We'll come up with some solutions. That's what we're doing at the National Engineering League.
Thank you. I don't think you could close any better than that. And a Black Man Sundays with a shout out. Black Man Sundays with a shout out. And that's
Big
where we
shout,
met,
Corie
y'all,
Murray.
on Black Men Sundays.
Awesome.
Connecting some of the greatest resources together. So I'm glad
Exactly.
for Mr. Murray getting me involved with that. That's how I met Coach Mick. So keep up the great work.
And we appreciate you 1,000%. And we will have you back on. There's going to be
Yes,
some
sir.
creative, innovative things that's coming on, and we need to be able to reach out to people and let them know. That's what we do.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the opportunity again.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Take care, man.
All right, y'all have a nice one.
If that wasn't enlightening enough for you.
Problem solving. Mm-hmm.
Wow. On so many levels, I'm so glad to have him come on and be able to share a lot of what he shared for our students, potential students, engineering graduates. I got some information a few weeks ago. Somebody was looking for some engineers, wanted to know if I knew anybody that would help. I tried to get them in touch with Corie, but sometimes when people ask for help, they really don't want help. They want you to do it. And we put the information out there, and Corie never heard from them, but we gave them the contact information and told them where they go because they were actually looking for some minority engineers. So that screen, reach out to Commissioner Scott. And I know firsthand the number of times that we've been able to get in touch with him, and he and I have been in contact dealing with students and parents and being able to talk to them and give them some sound advice, because a lot of times people get misled with the information that they receive. So we wanted to be in a position to try to help them. And so those of you who might have an interest, an inkling, or want to do research on it, you owe it to yourself to find out.
Yes, you do. But you got to take the first step. You have to take the first step. And what I found out, Coach, is that engineering is in all facets of things. It's not just for nerds. It's they say sneaker development. And how many sneakerheads are out here listening? There's more jobs than just the NBA, folks. And you'll probably be in one of them. Facts. I told you, I'm always gonna bring it straight, no chaser.
That's what we do. That's what we do. Man, tell me something.
Talk to me, Coach.
Did you know the WNBA had a draft?
Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? Actually, I did know. How about that? How about that?
Isn't that special? I mean, and on the tails of one of the greatest women's Final Four in history.
I mean, they didn't waste no time. They don't waste time with it. They just keep it going. It was nice though. I like the relaxed atmosphere of the draft, and Holly Rowe, I think her name is the hostess of it. she did a good job of touching the individual players and tried to touch on everyone that was there and who was selected. It was I enjoyed it. I really did. Was able to watch the first half of it and was happy with what I saw.
Well, you said something about Holly Rowe. I think the key to that was they had somebody hosted that actually had been familiar with the league.
Mhm.
So, and she seemed to have a real good relationship with the athletes that she interviewed.
Yeah.
And I thought that she did an excellent job of preparation and getting herself ready for that part of it.
Hmm.
And like you said, it was really laid back. Wasn't quite as intense as the guys. But see, the reason they have to go so quick, one, their season's getting ready to get jump started here. Remember,
Yeah.
they play in the summer, so
Yeah.
they'll start practice
Yeah.
in a few weeks.
Mhm.
And they'll be playing.
Right.
So, because when that WNBA season ends, that's when most of those star athletes leave and go overseas and play in Europe
Mhm.
and play there.
Mhm.
And so that's where they are during the NBA season. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how that translates and what actually happens. And
Mhm.
see, her name Zia Cook,
Mhm.
Zia Cook.
Uh-huh.
You pick different reasons that people are your favorite player.
Uh-oh.
You,
Uh-oh.
you pick different reasons. Now I'm gonna be real honest with you. I kind of like Caitlin Clark now.
Right. Right.
I respect somebody who can shoot the ball. That's a lost art. And the way she shoots it, it's each person that I kind of have an affinity for is for a different reason.
Right.
You
Right.
know, um, the way she shoots that ball, I like her cockiness. I
Mhm.
don't have a problem with it.
Right.
Um, I wasn't a real fan of LSU's big girl.
Okay.
Um, but I liked how she took up for her SEC sisters. Um, I wasn't a real fan,
Wasn't a
but I
fan of
liked how
Angel.
hard she played
Oh
Angel,
yeah.
you know, and I wasn't pulling for LSU until the championship game. I was actually pulling for Dawn Staley,
True. Facts.
you know, and
Facts.
I fell in love with our guard who went for 21 in the first half. I was like, oh my God, that I just, I'm from a small school, so I kind of look for Cinderella stories because I always identify, with that team. But it was just a interesting draft. And Zaya went to LA.
Yep.
She's out there with our girl Natalie White.
With that. Yeah. Right. Right.
Mm.
My favorite coach, Stanford's Haley Jones, was picked by the Atlanta Dream, and she had a press conference to go to right afterwards, and she left her phone with her parents, and the coach of the Dream was calling her, and so the coach finally went on Twitter and said, "Hey, will you answer your phone, please?" And so the people, the reporters at the press conference, Haley didn't know. So the reporters at the press conference said, "Did you hear that the coach is looking for you?" And she was like, "Oh no! What a way to make a first impression." That's no, coach. I don't have my phone with me. I left it with my parents, but as soon as I get back there, I'll call you. I promise. I promise, coach. And it was funny. I laughed so hard. I was like, "Good job, good job."
Now that's hilarious. Now that's
Mhm.
hilarious.
Yes, indeed.
The other thing that is missing, we only had 3 rounds, but we had nobody from HBCU drafted in any of them. We had more young ladies drafted from overseas, from France and different countries than we had from HBCU, Australia. But I can't really fault that because some of those players in France, I mean, in the foreign countries, they've been playing at a very early age.
Yeah.
They've been playing, so they've been they've been pro in a sport that they play. Our theme in the
Right.
night show was, turning pro in something other than your sport. And we think that Corie did a real good job of explaining that about opportunities being available for student athletes. Even though he said he ran a 4.2, Corie, Corie, it's hard to not play football or run track if you're running a 4.2. But I got to feel that Corey's mom wasn't having that here. She said, you might be running a 4.2. You better run a 4.1 in here and get these dishes.
And then you better pull a 3.8 because in your books, at least.
Man, that's like, hey, that's like going home and my dad would do the yard, right? So I'm home from school. I'm back at the crib and I'm sleeping. And I hear the lawnmower crank up, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's just the lawnmower. That don't mean nothing to me. Man, the lawnmower kept running and running and running. I looked out the window. My dad had tied the lawnmower up. It was sitting there on a tree right outside my window. He was inside eating breakfast. The moral of the story was, get your lazy behind up and cut this grass. I don't care that about you being home from college. So my dad wasn't having that. He left that sucker running. I ain't had no choice but to get up and go cut that grass. He had the doggone thing running. I wasn't gonna be able to sleep anyway. So I like Corie. He talking about his mom. You know, when your mom speak, man, dad a little bit. You might be able to push your dad. But when mom speak and she turned that head, and
it's a wrap.
That's it. That's it. You don't even have to get to your grandma, because your grandma, you know, she's getting older. She done called everybody name in the family. You know, baby, Junior, Jumba, Hank, Jabbo, Mickey, get your ass in here. You know who I'm calling you. I'm looking right at you. I'm like, oh, yes, ma'am. What you gonna say? What you gonna say? What you gonna say? But you know, we were back to the WNBA. With the WNBA rolling like it ended, it kind of whet people's appetite a little bit more to see how these young ladies are gonna do in the league.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. What is your thought on them making the girls stay in college before they become draft eligible in the WNBA?
They're gonna fight that eventually. I know they are. Other sports don't seem to have a problem with it. Why this? Why this? Why this one? Why are you saying that they need more development? I I don't know about that. I don't know, Coach. I don't know. In basketball, you go what? You have at least 1 year before after high school. In tennis, it's when you make the cut. In golf, is when you make the cut. Age doesn't matter. So I don't know. I don't mind you starting off, but the WNBA is not a new league. The WNBA has been around 20 years.
Yeah, but it's been struggling 18 and 19 of those 20 years. A lot of you remember a lot of the teams folded. You know, and the NBA actually underwrote, you know, a lot of them to keep them afloat.
Well, they should have done that from the beginning. It's the WNBA.
But they just named, but it wasn't the NBA's responsibility to see if to make the WNBA float.
Well, I mean, they're the ones who really started it.
No, they had two pro women leagues going, and that one ended up being the one that survived. You know, they've tried to have them before, and some of the WNBA owners were NBA owners in the same city, but some of them, you know, they cut their losses quick because they're businessmen.
Oh yeah.
And if it's not showing a profit, then they're not looking at it, you know, as a charity. You know, if it's not showing a profit, then they're out of there. You know, and it might just be starting to show a profit. And if you go to WNBA games, a lot of those contests, when you go to them, they're only sitting in the lower bowl.
Right.
You know, they're not even opening the upper bowl. But what I think is, even though I think you're right, they probably will try to forced litigation to be able to play earlier, but the fact that they can't allows them to marinate a little bit longer in college so that they have a name recognition and face recognition factor when they go to the league, because people will be familiar with them. And I still say that's one of the reasons the women was more popular this year, because the men had so many upsets. People didn't know those teams, and there were some familiar faces in the women's NCAA tournament. So there were people that you wanted to see. And Caitlin Clark will be back again next year, so you'll get a chance to see some of those same people.
Oh yeah, and I want to know if now that Caitlin wasn't. She didn't surprise anyone this year because she was showing this last year. But now the target is really going to be on her back. And I think she's going to rise to the occasion because the cream rises to the top always. And girl bad. That girl bad.
Well, see, the transfer portal will have to help them immensely because they lost a lot of seniors. And I think they lost 4 starters or 4 of their first 6. So I'm not saying they can't do it again, but that she's going to have, she has some knockdown shooters with her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
But if I wasn't playing, well, Reese was a transfer from Maryland. She was up there.
Yes, I know. oh, that team with her and Diamond would have been so.
Maryland was nice, huh?
Diamond, yes. Diamond got drafted. She was number 2 behind Aaliyah. And Diamond was tight. And with her and Angel, oh my goodness, that inside would have been tough. Don't think it would have beat South Carolina, but still, it would have been tough.
You saw Maryland play?
Oh yeah. I saw him against Iowa one game when Caitlin shot the lights and beat the brakes off of him. And then I saw the rematch when Maryland and Diamond them shut her down. Well, not shut her down. You can't really shut her down, but contained her and shut everybody else down.
Mm-hmm.
Maryland lost a lot because of the transfer portal, but they got some players because of the transfer portal. The transfer portal is dangerous. It's a dangerous thing. It can make you good. It can make you just the middle of the pack.
It'll make you just the middle of the pack, huh?
Yeah. Mediocre. And we don't like mediocre. We don't. We like upstarts for a minute, but we like superstars and we like stories. Angel will always have. Now Angel's going to be the big dog for what she did. The storyline is on Angel and LSU. Good. That's good. Just keep in South Carolina. Can they come back? What about UConn and Tennessee? That we forgot about them. They're not going to just sit back and UConn was hurt a lot.
They were.
They're going to be healthy.
Yeah, will be back. She got hurt again, but she'll be back.
Yes. Yeah, we were talking about her last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the women's game is really climbing. It's climbing, and that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
I agree.
Hey, y'all, what's up? Y'all get ready to leave. I need you to go on down there and hit the subscribe and the like button. Yeah. We appreciate that. Hit. No, don't get no attitude. Just do that and hit the subscribe, hit the like, write a comment. Tell us something about the show. Tell us something about what we said. Now, hold up. I might not like what you say, but I'm for sure gonna read it and comment. And some of it we even use in the next shows. Don't. There you go. Down there, hit that button. That's right. There you go. We appreciate that. Appreciate it. That's how INSiiGHTS grows. We all support each other. Don't do that. Don't get pissed off. Go on and take one more sip of that beer. Yeah, sports fans. That's what we do. We appreciate you. That's it. We appreciate you a lot. A lot. Insights appreciate you. Both me and Rick from MicknRick Insight Sports TV. We appreciate
Your attention, please.
Stay up to date with the latest from Insights. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS.com.
Insights is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises. It is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on Insights represent their independent thoughts and representation.
Hey, everybody, we got Corie on. We're going to say good night to everybody. We appreciate Corie for being with us. I know you had to learn
Thanks for having me.
something educational, enhancing, enriching, evening. We want to educate you a little bit. I know Corie, he educated me. We appreciate y'all. Good night, all. See you next week. Corie,
Peace.
we look to our next time to have you. There go another one with a cup, Rick.
We
There's
love them.
another